Hi, Internet. Stay. Hi, Internet. It's day 79 of 365, day 31 of 40 of the media fast. And today, you know what? A lot happened today that I could talk about. Good things. Today is March 20th, Dad's birthday. We got to celebrate as a family. I currently am wearing makeup from a nice family dinner. So there's a part of me that's like, should I do the whole look and look really fancy? And then I was like, nah. The outfit might have been too much. I'll keep the makeup on. I don't know if it looks good. Camera ready. It's kind of sweaty and gross because it was also rainy. But we're gonna call today recap. And I only say this because a lot of funny things happened to me this week, and I'm just like, sometimes you just need to recap it at the end of the week. Number one funny thing that happened is, okay, here's the thing. When you're driving, I think it would be stupid and very selfish to, like, not admit that you do things. So, for example, people pick their nose in their car. You can see people picking their nose, but you also, like, don't, I don't think anyone should be self-conscious about it. Oh, actually, maybe recap. Or voyeur. No. Because, okay, so the story is, no one should ever really feel self-conscious about picking their nose because, look, we all do it. We all do it. And you'd be deluding yourself to say, like, ew, that's so gross. You just do. It's like, there's something about you're completely exposed to the world, and yet you're, like, in the safety of your own car, so you pick your nose. And the reason I bring this up is, I'm leaving my church small group, blessed time, sisters praying together. It was really cool. And then as I'm leaving, which is sort of like this neighborhood where a lot of people from my church live, I look in the rearview mirror and I'm like, do I know her? And obviously this is a red light and I'm, keeping an eye on the light, but I'm also like, I think I know her. And then all of a sudden, as I'm like trying to determine if I know this person or not, this girl starts picking her nose. And I mean, in the most unladylike way, in the way that all us women do, but we pretend we don't do, or guys pretend like we don't do, because it's like the same thing about girls not pooping. Guys, girls poop. We're human. We do it. It's not flattering, and despite what Andre 3000 says, our poop doesn't smell like roses. Like, it doesn't. It's weird, right? Girls are just as disgusting as boys, and boys are not often as disgusting as girls. Oh, that is an essay for another day. But anyway, this girl is going to town, and the weird thing is, at some point, I should have just registered and said, oh, this is a private moment, stop looking. But my brain also went, but who is she? I need to know. Anyway, eventually I looked away. It was like a train wreck. I couldn't stop it. And I was so embarrassed, and I had to drive, and then I was like, ugh. And that memory stayed with me, and now that I've said it, it won't. Or I'll have to relive it in another day. What else to recap? I've never said this, but I think generally speaking, I've always been like, you're good with kids. You like kids. You are that, I'm not going to say rare, because there are teachers who do it better than me, but like, you're in that special subclass of adult where you should be safe around you. Why? Because you're very aware of the dangers of this world, and you're kind of a big ass kid yourself. And then I found myself genuinely irritated several times this week by kids who I adore and I want to protect and I would die over, and yet sometimes, like, kids can be obnoxious little punks, and I can't stand them. But then I was immediately humbled, and now I realize why I am that adult. That adult that's kind of like, so whenever I publish this and it says like, is this content made for kids? This is not. I swear. I talk about things that only really adults do, and it's not geared for kids at all. But one thing is, I wish if I could start a channel for kids and tell stories for kids and have kids understand, is we need to find a way to balance, like, as an adult, as a person who's gone through shit in their life, who, whenever you're charged with protecting kids, like, kids need to know they can trust you. That is true. But I think part of that trust also means you being a person that says, adults screw up, please. Like, we are not God. We will screw up. We discipline and we correct and we encourage because we know what happens when you don't do it. And in a long line of history of sins and bad mistakes, we're just trying to make sure you don't do it. Or if you do it, like, you don't do it again. That's the kind of adult I am. That's the kind of aunt I am. And I hope that's the kind of parent I am. The one who just appreciates telling kids the truth. Like the mom, Mrs. Incredible, where she's like, these bad guys are not like the cartoon bad guys. Like, you need to tell kids this early on. Not to traumatize them, but part of the growing up process is appreciating that, just because they're older doesn't mean that they're always necessarily wiser. It doesn't necessarily always mean that they're kinder. Even if they tell you to be wise, to be kind, to be patient. Adults, grown-ups, human beings, we are all petty as shit people. And we just need to recognize it. And every day, we just have to be better and try not to be like we were yesterday. What else is there? A recap thought that I was like, it bugged me. I did already talk about, like, have I run out of words? I haven't. Oh, what happened today that I'm seeing this is I prayed one of those big prayers that, like, I can't take back. It's one of those prayers that's going to be like, and I'm sharing this on the internet because I put it in a journal, keep myself accountable, but I'm going to put it here to keep myself accountable. I'm not going to tell you the contents of the prayer because I think if I start to, internet or future you, then it becomes kind of a performance. And the elements of this prayer I have to keep to myself, but I want to acknowledge and put down on video that I prayed it and it scared the shit out of me. Not only because, like, my brain actually went there to a point where I'm like, oh, this was not me. And now that I've said it and now that I did it, I'm like, can I live up to that? A part of me is like really excited to, like, can you live up to that? And there's another part of me that's like, oh my god, I don't think I can live up to that. And if, in essence, in some ways, because it is such a big thing that I have to live up to, now I'm like, oh, maybe if I fail, then I won't have to honor that responsibility, which is not, it's not healthy, but it's honest. If you pray for something big and to succeed in something big, but that success also means a huge sacrifice, and then you're like, oh, I'm okay failing, God. You know what I mean? That's also negating the depth of your promise. So I'm going to pray for success. I'm going to pray it works out. But I'm also, I'm kind of terrified of succeeding in this. Because I think I said this before. Like, that's my character. And it's not a good thing. I'm just aware. It's easier to not try or assume failure and then not doing anything than assume success and then having to, like, own up to it. And I think more people in therapy should acknowledge or call this something. Not laziness. I don't think it's laziness. I think I used to, like, misdiagnose myself because, that never happens. But, like, put it under the character of laziness. I don't think it's that. There is more of a word to it. I need to talk to a therapist about this, so I know the word. Anyway, that is the recap I have. Tomorrow is technically spring. Weather here is sort of cooperating with spring notes. We'll see what happens. Anyway, good night. Have a great weekend. Bye.